Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. I'm your host, Jen Lauren, at the Cherokee National Research Center in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, where people can learn more about their genealogy, like California native and Cherokee Nation citizen Tim Nagasawa. Tim grew up near Hollywood, California. A lifelong lover of art, he chose a career in film and TV, where he has worked on some of Hollywood's largest productions. Today, Tim shares his experience and knowledge to empower Native filmmakers beginning their own journeys into the world of cinematic storytelling.
My name is Tim Nagasawa, and I'm a filmmaker from Los Angeles, California. I am a filmmaker, mostly as a director of photography and camera operator. I have about 20 years experience. Depending on who you ask, some people like to call it cinematographer, some people like to call it director of photography. The director will come in with an idea and a vision of what the project should look like and what it should feel like. And it's the responsibility of the director of photography and his team, the camera, lighting, grip, to make that happen for them, to give them exactly what they envision. People ask me all the time, how did you get into this? What is the secret to breaking into this industry? And there is no secret, there's no one way to do it.
I knew from the time when he was pretty little that he was more creative, and so we would sometimes communicate through that. I always knew he would be in something like this, be in film or be something creative.
I have a younger brother and younger sister, and we would just entertain ourselves, and we would act out our own movies and kind of make our own movies, and that's how we spend our time. Growing up in Los Angeles, movies were being made everywhere. I went to Verdugo Hills High School in Tujunga, and it was just one of those high schools that they were always shooting a television show or a commercial or a movie at. There's always something going on. I went to Cal State Northridge thinking that I was gonna be an engineer.
I actually thought he wanted to be an architect. When he was younger, that's what I thought he was gonna do, but then his math skills weren't that great.
Turns out that I'm really bad at math, but I knew that I love design and I love to draw. So easily transitioned into becoming an art major. So I just continued to make experimental videos. And so by the time I was a senior, I was making my own short films. Soon after college, I got very lucky and I got a job at DreamWorks, at the DreamWorks animation studio. I really wanted to work on movies. Realizing how lucky I was to get that job, that really was the thing that kind of ignited that spark that got my career going. I was able to get a job at Amblin and working for Steven Spielberg's company, and I knew nothing. I was like, I just got to get on set. And so everyone there at Amblin was very great and got me a job on Memoirs of a Geisha. I started to talk to the DP a little bit, and then one day he's like, hey, do you want to come out for a couple days, camera PA? And then I came out for a couple days and I was hooked. That DP, who was so gracious, so kind, and so patient with me and, answered all my questions, was Dion Beebe, who's an incredible cinematographer and actually won the Academy Award for Memoirs of a Geisha. And then I got lucky. I was working on Spider-Man 3 in a production office and got to know the DP a little bit. And one day he just came up to me and was like, hey, we need a camera PA for second unit for the whole show. Do you want to be that person? Yes, absolutely. I'd love to be that person. Most recently, I worked on a television show called Ray Donovan. I started in season 2 and I met with a Canadian director of photography named Rob McLaughlin. We hit it off immediately. Rob was offered an episode direct, and to him, it was an obvious choice to have me become the DP. Ray Donovan will always hold a special place just because of my experience with working with Rob, with that crew, and going to New York and be able to shoot my first full episode of television. I have memories from every single feature I did, and every single one is special for a special reason. Every single movie gave me a new tool in my tool bag to create the person I am today. My oldest daughter, she kind of grew up coming to set and visiting me all the time.
I think my dad is really cool. He tells me all these like really cool stories of him being on set. He doesn't talk about himself as like proudly as I feel like he should.
I would leave and come back and bring her, souvenirs and talk about the jobs. We go to the movies I worked on. So I never pushed that onto her, but it's all she's really known. She's become a little filmmaker herself.
I've just always been like really interested in film. I think he definitely inspired me because, growing up I watched like a bunch of fun movies and stuff like that.
So she's in the cinema department at school, and she grew up making her own short films, and it's kind of become her life.
This fall I'm going to be attending University of Texas at Austin. I'm starting college, and I'm going to be majoring in film, and I'm very excited.
My father was very traditional Japanese from the old part of Japan, and he came to the United States just to kind of restart and live the American dream. And also he came to teach Shotokan, which is a specific type of martial arts. In his dojo, he met my mom.
I started training in Little Tokyo, and friendship became a 20-year marriage and 3 kids later.
That classic love story of teacher meeting a student and falling in love. So, and then they had me. This is like my favorite picture of him. My father passed away in 2018. He laid the foundation of a very, very strong Japanese household. So we grew up very traditional Japanese. I would say part of that is the reason why I've had the success in this industry, in the camera department, as far as like my work ethics and the way I present myself. My first language was Japanese, and then I ended up going to public school, not using it. It kind of just melted away. My oldest daughter is fluent in Japanese, and my youngest daughter is on her way to learning Japanese. I know very little Japanese. I know Skoshi, which means almost nothing. My mom, she comes basically from a European and Cherokee Nation background. She grew up in Los Angeles. She's a very strong person. She's an entrepreneur. She ended up starting a water garden business, like a Japanese water garden business. My great-great-grandparents, who are from Oklahoma, who came to Los Angeles, my mother had a good relationship with them.
My grandmother used to tell me, we're Cherokee, and I really didn't know what that meant until I started kind of researching it. It's been interesting to find out I have been able to find out so far about our family.
So she never really got a chance to get to know who they were, what they were about, as far as getting to Los Angeles, why they came to Los Angeles, what it was like living in Oklahoma at the time. Growing up, we always knew that we were, Native Americans, but we didn't really know too much further than that. My sister and my mom have both been to Oklahoma and been to where my family is from, but myself, I have never had the chance to go there. When I heard the Cherokee Nation Film Office was starting to sprout, I instantly contacted them and said, I just want to be a part of this. I just want to see if there's something I can do to help. And that was kind of the spark that got me more interested in my Cherokee Nation culture.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Gene.
Nice to meet you. I'm Tim. Tim
Nice to
Nagasawa.
meet you, Tim.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Research Center. We can have you if you'd like to sign in.
Sure. I misspelled research.
That's okay. You are not alone. And people can't spell genealogy either. One of the things I noticed that when you sent in your chart for us to research, that you had gone back about 6 generations. Now, when you're going back this is on the Warwick side here, a lot of the research that I've done, on Cherokee citizens, they have a family story about how the family came on removal, and we find them in removal-related records and so on. But it's interesting to note that your family lines were ones that have remained behind, but would later down the line come into the Cherokee Nation and be readmitted as citizens.
I got a thorough lesson about my family in Oklahoma and where they came from and where they went, the sacrifices they made that resulted into who I am today. Like, I wouldn't be who I am unless they made those decisions. It's overwhelming being here in their presence and finding them. This is always the most interesting part of my life, and everyone always asks me about it, but I have no information to give them. And I didn't even know what kind of questions to ask or who to ask or where to go to figure those things out. And a lot of it was just sitting right here, waiting for me to find. Today, we're at the Cherokee Film Institute, and I led a workshop with a bunch of students, and this is my first time in Oklahoma. Thank you very much for all showing up and for having me here. I didn't know how I would feel about it, but I did feel a connection with everybody, and I explained to them that, you know, I've been in their same position, dealing with who they are, what they're about, and the uncertainty of everything, and finding your place in all of this. People were kind enough to take their time to teach me when I knew nothing, and pass along their knowledge that somebody taught them. It means a lot to me that I'm able to continue that and expand upon that with things I've learned to add to it and pass along to them, and I hope they can do the same.